So on today, you see I have next to me Elder. I'm calling him Elder today.
I think
Elder
I'm elder.
Elder Rick Robinson.
God
And
bless you.
you may know the name. You may not know the name. You may know that. I don't know. But I can promise you. You know one of his songs. This brother, and I was just kind of looking up and reading up on you before we got on, and there was stuff you had your hand on that I forgot about. So
Probably me too.
yeah,
Probably me too.
we're going to get to all of that stuff, but
Okay.
first, you know, I have to ask you, like, more than anything, how did that song come about? What inspired that song?
Man, more than anything, first of all, thank you for having me,
Oh,
Deacon Elder, and thank you for giving my eldership.
oh, that's right.
Love, man. That actually, man, I'm grateful because this year I'll be celebrating 20 years ago that song was released.
That was
I
released
wrote it.
2000.
It was released in 2000. I wrote it in 99, and it was
Ah,
recorded. Actually, I believe in the end. Was it the end of 99, or it was even the end of the 99? It was recorded and it was released in 2000. So, in a world where there are millions of songs, I'm just grateful that song has, so far stood the test of time. Honestly, you know what it's like playing in church, Kevin. You've been in church during offering or during the invitation, and you get to just playing music and
uh-huh.
whatever. And every once in a while, I'm like, I got to remember that for when I get home. I started playing the melody lines to the song, and I had the vamp first of the song. I love you, Jesus.
Uh-huh.
Lord. So a lot of people don't know that the rest of the song didn't come to me till about a month or two later. So
Wow.
for some reason I don't. There are times when I don't write songs. I end up writing in fragments because I try my best not to force creativity, and just because I have a good chorus don't mean I got to put no whack bridge or nothing like that. So
Hey,
I
hey,
would.
hey! Before you go on, can you say that one more time? Say that one more
I
time.
don't know. I don't force creativity because I don't know why people put so much pressure on themselves to finish a song. If it's not ready, then don't put it out. You don't feed people food that ain't finished being cooked. So
Woo,
if I don't have a vamp, I'm not gonna sit there and put a whack vamp on there just because I got a dope chorus and I'm trying to finish the song in enough time to get it done for an album.
woo.
If it ain't ready, you put it to the side, and then whether it be by divine inspiration or whether it be by creativity, it'll come. So that the rest of that song, the chorus and the verse and the bridge came a little bit later, but it just came in fragments. But God just kept speaking to me, not to be super deep, but I was sitting in church playing music during the invitation and just felt melodies in my heart, and I developed it. And then at the time I was working with Daniel Witherspoon a lot with Spoon-Fed Productions,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, "Yo, you might want to submit this song to Sanchez Harley,
Mm-hmm.
who was producing Lamar Campbell in the Spirit of Praise at the time for that recording." And I sent it in, and the next time I heard the song was at the live recording. I drove up to Indianapolis for the live recording and met all of the EMI people there, and that was my very first time hearing the song post me doing a demo. And at that time, I didn't do demos like I do demos now.
Uh-huh.
Now I do full production demos. At that time, I used to take the tape recorder and sit it on top of the piano and play the song and sing the
Uh-huh.
alto part, the tenor part,
Wow,
and the
wow.
soprano part. So that's kind of how I sent the demo in. So it was kind of amazing to hear from, the demo. And then the next time I hear this mass choir singing it and world-class musicians playing on it, and, world-class producer like Sanchez Harley producing it. And,
Mm-hmm.
that song went way further than I ever thought it would go.
When was man, you really said something. I can't let that go. When he
Okay.
talked about just because he had one good section, I'm not gonna just throw the rest together. There's sometimes you
Yeah.
can hear songs and you could tell the part that, okay, they wrote that part first. That's the part they
Mm-hmm.
had solid. And then they just
Mm-hmm.
put some stuff together all around it.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely. You can
oh,
tell that. You can tell, and
mm-hmm,
I hear it all the time. I don't be meaning to be judgmental. I don't like to listen with a judgmental ear, but I can hear sometimes when the vamp be super strong and then it take
mm-hmm.
a turn. Or I mean, the chorus might be super strong and it'll take a turn into the vamp, and you kind of like it'll either
Oh.
lose the groove or it either be the groove get lost or some lyrics. So I try not to force creativity, and honestly,
Oof.
there have been times that I have against my own better judgment
Mm-hmm.
for the sake of, because I had time limits to meet, and sometimes it worked out, but most times I always felt like, and I rushed a certain part of the music. So, when the story is told, I will always tell that I wrote the vamp of that song first, and the rest of the song didn't come to 2 months later.
Wow. And when did you know? Did you have a moment where you was like, "Wow, okay, like this song is kind of blowing up"?
My first indication of it, well, at that time I didn't have a lot of songs on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
And the radio can be a great indicator at times what's hot and not what's hot or not. Nowadays, I don't think that. I think the radio is a different story.
Yeah.
But my first indicator was the amount of times that I would hear it a day on the radio.
Wow.
And then my second indicator that I knew was a big song was when my first publishing check came.
Hey.
And then I said, wait a minute, this must really be doing okay. And then my third indicator was when the president from the label called me and asked me when was I sending more songs in. So I was like, okay, maybe this is okay, But I'm grateful for the success of that song. And since then it's been recorded twice. Once by my wife. And I'm grateful for her because a lot of people did ask me could they re-record it, but for some reason I just held on to it. And nearly 17 years later, she recorded it on her album.
He saved it for his woman.
Yeah, I wanted to be able to come home, you know what I'm saying? But I'm grateful because at this point she's at about 17 million views for that song.
Mm-hmm.
And then because it was on that album, it was heard by the production team over at Kanye West and Sunday Service, and they end up re-recording it, which I can't even believe, which was a surprise to me because I didn't know. And
the song you wrote in 1999.
A song I wrote in 1999. And Christmas Day, I was, our family, we normally go downtown in Chicago for Christmas. We do like a Christmas staycation. And we were at the hotel and, I was taking a nap and I woke up to about 5 text messages like, congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. And I was like, congratulations on what? And a lot of people were sending me screenshots of the fact that it was on that Sunday Service album. And I had no idea. I had no idea.
Okay.
I had no idea. They just re-recorded it and sent me the paperwork later.
Mm-hmm.
So, and glory be to God, that album has been on the charts. That Sunday Service album has been on the Jesus is Born is the name of it. Has been on the chart for a year, and that song has been the highest streamed song from that album. So I'm just extremely grateful for the life of that song.
Yeah, and I was telling him like that's a modern day. That's like a hymn now. Which, everybody knows that song.
And I'm extremely humble when you say that. Excuse me. I'm extremely humble when you say that because, man, that's a hymn. When I think of people like that, I think of Andre Crouch writing Blood to Give You Sermons in the hymn. Those hymn books don't never go away.
Yeah, that's a classic. And a lot of songs, they're hot for the year or for that moment, but they kind of they don't last.
Yeah.
That's 1999 you wrote that, bro.
1999, man. First of all, I'm just glad that I don't look like somebody who getting older. No, 99, man. That was honestly, the funny thing about it was that was probably one of my 4th songs I've ever written.
Wow.
I didn't really have many opportunities prior to that for writing, but that kind of opened a lot of doors.
I'm a little jealous, but I'll get over it. You get this song spirit off of me. Let me get it off of me.
No, man, you wrote Burn Me Up. That's going to be a modern day classic.
Cook me like a home run pizza. Burn me up. Burn me up.
See.
Burn me up like a home run and pizza. I love it.
You hilarious. Classic. And I gotta admit, because I the song is a classic, but one of the things for people that have to teach it and directors and we don't like it for the fact that we have to teach the vamp. And when you do the Lord, I love you more than anything, and when you do the parts, it's hard enough for the choirs and the praise teams to sing it the first time, but then you got the nerve to have us invert.
Oh yeah, man. And on Anita's album, we went up the 3rd time.
Yeah,
so no, man. It's easy. You got it, man. You. I've seen what you do with the choirs out there, New Faith.
No. And let me tell you this also. How do you feel? You know you have a classic song when everybody breaks it up. You know, when you think about how great is our God, you know, people, you know, some people took the verses out, some people did the chorus, and now your
Yeah,
song, I've been in
yeah.
situations where I go to You Are the Shelter, the bridge, and
Uh-huh.
folks are like, what part
What
is
is
that?
it?
Because all they know is the beginning, and they know I love you, Jesus.
Yeah, yeah, it's been broken up in different ways, man. First of all, most people say that most people say name the song that they name that song "I Love You,
I love you,
Jesus"
Jesus.
when
Uh-huh.
the original title is More Than Anything. But most people walk up to me like I love you, Jesus." But yeah, you could break that part up. One of the things, a lot of my friends in the industry, a lot of my artist friends in the industry, always come up to me and say that song saved me when I'm crashing. That's the one I go to, and it gets me
Yeah.
out of my situation. I'm like, that's.
It's one of
So
those trump card songs. I do the joke about it about You Move Mountains. It's a You Move Mountains type song.
yeah, you gotta have one of them in
Yeah.
your pocket, man. You move mountains.
And
You say
I've been
and
at
you gotta
church.
say song says before too. Song says you move mountains.
Exactly. And I've
You
seen
put
it
the
so
song
many
says, they'll take
times.
them in, man. No.
It's going kind of rough. Yeah, lift
Yeah,
your hands. I
yeah.
love you, Jesus. And it's like,
But
okay.
I'm just extremely humble. I gotta be honest. I'm just humble, man, because it's so I thank you for even reaching out to me about this song, and and even acknowledging it like that, man. I'm just humbled by that because it didn't have to be, man. It didn't have
No.
to be that way. I mean, people, it's a million songs that come out. It's a lot of creative and talented and anointed and amazing people in the industry. So I just look at it as God just, putting a stamp of approval on it, I hope it's continuing to stand the test of time. I think that we all should write with the mindset of standing the test of time.
Mm-hmm.
Even if, I think if we all wrote with the mindset of standing the test of time, we would probably eliminate a lot of trends, and trends don't normally stay.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we should all be able to think ahead in the future and say, what will we want to listen to 10 years from now? Now, at the time, I had no idea that song would make it past the year, because again, we are in an industry, especially in the gospel music industry, where there are writers. I mean, you can go in a church and there's probably 20 people that wrote songs in the church, or
Yep.
you go to church, there's about 25 artists sitting in the audience at any time. We got a lot of talented people. So I always think, well, what is going to be the music that we're going to want to listen to, in 2025 or 2030 or 2040. And then I also think about what will be the thing that will be said that we need to hear 10 years from now. Like, what can be something that, we still think about it like this. If you think of the lyrics of the Hawkins, thank you, tragedies are commonplace, all kinds of diseases, people are slipping away, economy's down, people can't get enough pay. As for me, all I can say is thank you, Lord, for all you've done for me. Well, that sounds like to me what we're dealing with right now.
Still relevant. Yep.
But that's a 30-year-old song.
Mm-hmm.
So my mindset is always like, what can be said that will be relevant to anybody, to any situation, at any time.
Right. And that's what I was thinking when I wrote the lyrics to Burn Me Up. I was thinking, like, what can I say that
What
20,
could you
30 years?
say?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
exactly what I was thinking.
we need to be tried in the fire.
That's it. That's it.
Huh? Like a home run in pizza.
That's
But
it.
let me tell you something, man. Honestly, that is one of my favorite. I have a lot of my favorites of yours. Like when you did the intro to More Than Anything, that had me in tears when you talk about the musicians play them
The
long
musicians
intros and the
doing too
director
much.
be
Yeah.
sitting there like, what is this?
Now, I want to say that we're talking about More Than Anything. Like I said, that's a classic, but he's not a one-hit wonder. I mean, this brother, he's written some great songs. He's also a producer. One of my other songs he's written a ton of songs, but Speechless, that's another great song by his wife,
Man.
Anita Wilson. Great song. I mean, it's so
Thank you,
smooth. It's such a smooth song, but it's
Thank you, man.
anointed.
Thank you, man. First of all, it's needless to say, shout out to my wife, Miss Anita Wilson. I love you, darling. And we've been in this music thing together for 10 years because she's even before we fell in love and got married, we worked on many records prior to that.
Mhm.
And so by the time she got ready to do her album, you know, it was a natural fit for me to work with her. So that song was written for her, written for her voice. I
Yeah.
was trying to figure out a way. Anita, her voice to me is unique because
Mhm.
most people focus on their highs, and
Mhm.
most times she has focus on lows, and
Mhm.
then I'm able to pull out the sultry side of her voice. And so I was trying to think of a ballad, but that didn't feel too churchy, but could be possibly played on V103, maybe on
Yeah.
Sundays or something like
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
And I would listen to Earth, Wind and Fire, and which is one of my favorite bands. And so
Mhm.
that a lot of times I listen to music and get inspired, and then I'll try to not. It's a difference between imitation and inspiration. So not to imitate the artist, but just to be inspired by artists or
Mhm.
the style of music that I learned from them, like Earth, Wind and Fire. So there was a lot of elements like that with the horns and all that. But that song was specifically written for her voice because she can execute a song like that.
You nailed it.
Um, I, I appreciate you, man. Thank you again. Another song I'm grateful that has stood the test of time, because this year Anita celebrating 10 years as an
Yeah.
artist, and that album was recorded 10 years ago. So
Yeah.
I'm really, time goes by fast, but good music always, has the power to stick around. So I'm just grateful for that.
And he's also a producer. And I was looking up some stuff. Some songs you may know he had a hand in. Charles Jenkins, My God is Awesome. Did you
Yeah, shout
produce
out to
that?
Fellowship. Yes, sir. I was afforded the opportunity to produce the Best of Both Worlds album for Fellowship, so I was able to work on that record with Pastor Jenkins and Anita at the time. So I had a good time doing that album.
Then there was a song, say you're amazing, you're
Ricky Dillon.
amazing, you're amazing. Did you produce that?
Yes, sir. I was able to, given the opportunity from my good brother, Dr. Ricky Dillard, on what was that, 30-year anniversary? It was a full circle moment because I played for
Mm-hmm.
New G when I was 16 years old. I was traveling with New
Wow.
G when
Okay.
I was 16, 17 years old. I had the outfit with the sleeves and everything. We had to wear those on stage. So to be able to be given that opportunity to work with Ricky on that album and Amazing. That's another song. I knew when I heard that song. First of all, we had all heard that song in Chicago before it was recorded by Ricky because
Mm-hmm.
of
Tony
shout out to
Tillwell.
Tony Tillwell. Tony
Mm-hmm.
Tillwell did that, and Tiff Joy wrote that song.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just grateful that song right now. That's, speaking of songs, like I say, songs that might slip up and be on V103 and stuff. They play that song on mainstream radio now. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just extremely grateful, and I'm grateful that that Ricky was given a Grammy nomination for that album.
Yeah, and with you, one thing I know about you and what I respect and admire about you is your musical versatility. You
I
can
appreciate you, brother.
church. I mean you can do all. You've worked with choirs, just so many different variety. You don't stay in one style. And then like when you listen to some of Anita's new stuff, like the
Mhm.
musical, it's not
Yeah.
all just churchy. And like you
Yeah.
said, you can hear that Earth, Wind and Fire influence.
Yeah.
You're just a musical guy. I appreciate that about you.
I appreciate that, man. The funny thing, I appreciate that, bro. It really comes from I was just thinking about Ricky going from choir to doing Anita. The funny thing was I worked on Ricky and Anita's album at the same time.
Okay.
I was literally preparing for them at the same time. So
Uh-huh.
it was quite a contrast to be working on New G, going to New G rehearsals and
Yeah.
then, and then going to the studio with Anita. But I would like to thank my mom and my dad because I never was limited to just having to listen to church music. And I have a lot of friends who lived in very saved, uh, Pentecostal homes where they were only allowed to listen to gospel music. But my fondest music memories go back to my parents because, which is why I have an album collection in my house now of hits. My stepfather was used to be a DJ, so I had all the vinyls from the 70s and the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he passed, I inherited that collection. And then my mom, I could just remember all the songs my mom would play on the radio, Earth, Wind and Fire's, the Frankie Beverly and Mays, all that stuff. So I've never been limited to just gospel. And then, you know, the older I got, the more I started to get intrigued myself about music. So I started learning how to discover music for myself at an early age, like 12, 13. I'm listening to the Yellow Jackets and listening to, you know, James Taylor and, you know, the list can go on and on. Steely Dan, my father used to listen to Steely Dan. So when you're writing, and I'm pretty sure you've experienced this, man, but when you're writing and sometimes you get a vibe and you might get an idea that you don't even necessarily know at the time, like where that inspiration came from, but it really is just a ball of our influences. Cause like again, writing Speechless, when it got to the end, when she say, if I can't say a word. And when she go to
Yep,
that's Maurice White, man.
Yeah,
That's Maurice White all day. That's what Maurice White would do if he was singing a gospel record. He would go oh. So like you never know where the influence come from. Sometimes there are times when I've been in the midst of writing and not necessarily knew at the time where the inspiration was coming from, but it's really just storing all that information in your head, listening to all these old records and sonics and listening to what kind of instruments they used back in the day and all that. And when you get ready to produce and create, it just all comes out at the same time.
What advice would you have for songwriters that are, you know, working on their craft? Any tips you could offer? Or
you know what, man, I honestly feel like songwriting is, you can teach songwriting. I mean, I think that the only thing that people can do is share their techniques with other writers, because really there's no one way to write a song. You know what I'm saying? There's no one way to write a song. I think that I can share some of my techniques and hopefully it can help somebody. What I've been learning to do lately and do more of is mumbling until I get the song. So like I used to, whereas my process used to be, I would try to add most times because mind you, I didn't start off producing. I started off as a musician, just coming up in church. My production came in because my mentor, which we both know, Donald Lawrence, and my brother, Donald Lawrence, I sent him a demo, one of those demos with the piano and me just singing into a mic, and he was like, "Nah, you gotta paint the picture better than that. You gotta demo this song, save your money, go in the studio, record it, sell the idea to the artist, right?" So, you know, I saved my money up, got me some studio equipment, and so that's when I really developed my craft as a producer, was really just trying to make better demos. And so my first set of advice with the mumble, I'll go back to the mumble thing, but my first set of advice as far as demos, or writing your demos, if you're trying to present a song to an artist, try to sell the idea to the artist exactly how you want it to sound. Like, what do you want the bass to do? What do you want the background vocals to do? What do you want the lead to sing? Try to paint the picture as close as possible with demos. I learned that from Donald. But as far as the mumbling thing is, which is something I've been learning a lot more lately to do, because I used to try to sit down and write the whole song before I can get to the studio, because I didn't have a studio. So I tried to come to the studio with the whole song finished, and that's another thing, forcing creativity, right? So now I'm learning to, if I have a melody idea, to mumble the melody into a demo until I mumble myself into some lyrics. So if I'm hearing something, I'm going, if I just keep hearing the melody in my head and the melody's going, so instead of me sitting there trying to write the lyrics out and try to come up with some lyrics, I just go in there and turn the mic on and say, So sure enough, I was looking at Masterclass. Are you at the Masterclass?
Yes. Are you talking about what Timbaland did?
Timbaland.
Yep, I saw it.
So Timbaland, so you saw the example what I'm talking about. They went and they mumbled those tracks until you, and then sure enough, you'll be riding around listening to that, man, and you'll eventually, something will come to you. That has happened to me so many times where I've mumbled myself into a lyric. That's a word of advice. I would also tell everybody to listen to all kinds of music. Again, creativity is not limited to a genre. So if you need to, you will be able to have more creative ideas if you do not limit yourself to your favorite songs.
Mm-hmm.
If you listen to other people's music, study other people's craft, get a list of writers. I have a list of writers that I listen to their music and I study their lyrics. James Taylor, Diane Warren, Tommy Sims, Quincy Jones, David Foster, all of those guys. And I listen to all kinds of music so that I can be not limited to in my creativity to one specific sound. And I'm that's where the versatility comes in when I just try to listen to everything. You wouldn't even believe that I love quartet music. I love I've gotten hip to listening to a lot of Broadway shows now. That's where I get a lot of lyric ideas from. I listen to a lot of Broadway shows now, and Stephen Sondheim and those type of people. So I would say go exploring for music to listen to in different writing styles.
Okay. All right. Now you got everybody in the car mumbling now.
Yeah. Now, I know it's gonna take a while to get used to. Because first you feel like you're crazy, slipping in the mic going, But I'm telling you, man, it's been so many times that I literally have willed myself into some lyrics by just going, because the importance is just get the melody and the rhythm and the cadence down. And once you got the rhythm and the cadence, you can find the lyrics. If you just sit down and, you know what I'm saying, like just. I'm writing that. I'm trying my best to finish the song for Anita now, and I'm just in them mumbling. And if anybody had a video of me, they'd be like, "What is wrong with him?" Just mumbling. But Jay-Z do it too. That's how Jay-Z come up with his tracks. He mumbled himself into some lyrics.
Yeah, I saw that Timberland video. And it was crazy how he did it. I mean, the sounds he wanted. I mean, everything. Like you say, he was mumbling.
Yeah. I mean, everybody has their own technique. So I would just say, stay in open communication with other writers too, because you may have a technique that I might need to get hip to help me figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And because we got to do better than some of the lyrics that's coming out. We got to do better than that. I'm not saying everybody. I'm just saying the writers, the people who are passionate about it. There's people who write songs because they're passionate about it, and there's people who write songs because they want the money and the notoriety that comes along with being noticed for that type of stuff. And so sometimes the lyric value has decreased again for the face value of us appearing to have a hit or whatever the case may be. I just think that the simple lyrics, we should start challenging ourselves more against just the A
I got
song.
you
feel me?
Yeah.
I guess that's my best songwriting advice I could give.
Okay, yeah.
What do I know?
Oh, man. Look, anything else? Anything you have coming up that you want us to kind of be aware of, to be on the lookout for?
Well, no, I'm just I'm right now. I'm just finishing. I'm working on my wife's fourth album. I'm grateful that we have we have our marriage, and then we have our musical marriage. And so now I do want to. I joked with you and said that we were in scheduling for this interview. I joked with you. I said, let me find out when I come out the basement, and my wife lets me come out and use the bathroom every once in a while. And I might get a meal until I finish our album. But I do enjoy working on music with her. The only thing is, once we start working on our albums, every song that I create, that I try to write even outside of her, end up sounding like something that should be on her album. So I'll be like, let me hurry up and finish your work before I go on to the next thing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I got you.
You get all my songs, So, but I look forward to finishing that project. And then I am currently finishing a book that I wrote called The Independent Music Mogul. And it's going to be talking about how you can have a successful career independently. So it's going to be a guide to an independent music career.
Cool. And I'm gonna tag your Instagram and everything.
Okay.
Watermark your name so everybody know where to find you. Matter of fact, just say your Instagram, your pages if you want to put it out there.
Oh yeah, you can find me at Rick Robinson World on Instagram, and then my Twitter is Rick Robinson 7, and then my Facebook is Rick Robinson. I do more interaction on Instagram that I do Facebook, so I'm trying to pray for me. I'm trying to get better with my Facebook. I go in there, it's a wild place sometimes. I get poked and all kind of invites and all stuff. All kind of invites, but I'm trying to do better with my Facebook. commentary. But what you working on, man?
Hey, man, look, this is about you, man. I didn't write a song in 1999 and it's going all around the world and Kanye West singing. Kanye West ain't singing "Burn Me Up." So now I gotta go and try to mumble and find me a hit somewhere. I'm so you pray for me.
I'm pretty sure I got to go and find me a hit somewhere. I'm praying for you, bro. I'm praying for you. But I know you're working on something, so we looking forward to hearing it, man.
Yeah, and so man, put your hands together for brother Rick Robinson, Elder. We forgot he's Elder Rick Robinson. And for you choir heads, especially youth choir heads, this guy also wrote "No Matter What the Problem May Be."
Ooh, I forgot about that one.
I'm gonna lift him for the whole. Tell you, look him up. He's written a lot of songs. So man,
I appreciate you, man.
Hey, I appreciate
I feel so much appreciation, man. Thank you. I'm grateful. Thank you for having me on, man. I think I saw Richard Smallwood on here last week.
Yeah, last week.
Yeah, listen. I mean, I'm just grateful to be in that company, man. Thank you. That's my uncle there. Shout out to you, Uncle Richard. Thank you. Hey. That's another one of my mentors, man. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Oh man, thanks again. Like I say, more than anything, that's a modern day him in my eyes.
Thank you, bro.
So, man,
I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you coming on. I know you. I interviewed Elder. I interviewed Elder Robinson.
You're the first person to call me Elder, and I appreciate that. Maybe God is gonna shine on me. I don't know. I appreciate you. Thank you, man. And take care of yourself in this pandemic, you and your family, man. And we hope to hear more creativity that was coming out of you in this pandemic, man. I'm looking forward to hearing it. All right.
I appreciate you, man.
My dude, I appreciate you, man.